right, so we're sitting down with Jussi from Bugbear, and we're gonna have a flat-out talk about all things racing.
All flat out.
So, first of all, we can start by talking about GDC. The fact that we're here. What's your thought on the GDC, and what do you hope to take away from this event?
Well, actually, I hope to learn a lot. So I actually came here without planning to do any of this, any of talking to me. That's just go to conferences and listen to the smart people and learn stuff and take a lot of home back and do better games next time. And so I think that's still happening. I think to some extent this is becoming a bit more show than it used to be. It's more about image than information, which is a bit of a shame, but still a lot of good stuff happening. I was just in the session with Peter Sudov, who's from Massive Entertainment, who made Berlin Conflict. Good stuff on how they make games. So that was really good. So that it happens. But sometimes for some people it's a more like recruitment place, like look how good we are, so come work for us. And yeah, it shouldn't be like that.
Really, the career pavilion has just blossomed this year. It's huge.
Yeah, well, the business is thriving, games are selling, entertainment is just going through the roof. So you need people to make it, and you want the best people to make your game. I totally understand that, and a lot of people come here looking for a job. So it's a natural exchange, and I don't really mind that when you have a career pavilion. But it's sometimes it's a bit more show than tell, so I would like to a bit more tell and less show. But that's maybe the Finnish in me is speaking that. All the Americans are probably, rock on, yeah, good show.
So how are you finding it recruiting people for Bugbear?
Well, we are all Finnish, and that's been actually intentional because we feel that Finland's a bit, out there compared to the United States, cold like in Sweden, and it's dark and broody, and we like heavy metal. So we prefer to get Finns, and I think we find a lot of people from people who know us, and a lot of people come from the demo scene background. So we have a lot of demo sceners, programmers, graphicians, and that's a really good place to train. And there's a good modding community also in Finland, so we find people through that. It's not like you could raise a flag and say 100 people, we need 100 people. No way. But you can find 1 or 2 people a month, and that's a pretty good rate, and that's roughly what we're looking for.
So the big question, according to what's with the state of the racing genre right now? What's going on?
What's going on in the racing genre? Lots of going on. I think you have great examples of really intriguing new gameplay styles. You have Burnout Paradise with open world, Sandbox gameplay. You have Destroy Unlimited with persistent multiplayer experience. There is the high end of graphics, Gran Turismo is coming. And there's a lot of exciting stuff happening. And naturally, something we're doing, which we won't tell anything about, but maybe in the future we'll find some new way to separate ourselves from the rest of the crowd.
So, but Flatout, of course, separated you from the rest of the crowd when that came out.
Well, it did. It really has been great for us and great for the publisher. It's a labor of love. And I think when people are not game developers, they don't know how hard it is to make original IP. Because a lot of times you're like, do cars game or do the next Gran Turismo and it's PGR, and it's very hard for developers to get a chance to make something original, something new, and we've been very successful in doing that several times, and that's really for us, it's what we like about it, making something that's new, and we think about the whole world. We think why do you play this game and how do you play it? We get to make up everything, and that's what we really like about it. That's the creative part of it, and that's we've been really lucky of having that chance.
So it's not Flatout 3 that you're working on now?
I cannot comment. It might be Flatout 3, it might be something else, who knows? I said no comments on that. Definitely when I say original IP, Flatout is original IP. But Flatout 1 and 2 are already past. Flatout Ultimate Crunch was 2.5 product. Whatever comes after that has to be new and different. Whether you call it flat out, whether you go out flat, or whether you go in, whatever you call it, doesn't matter. You have to take a bold step and go somewhere, because other people are going to say, oh, it's just a flat out 3, it's more cars, more tracks, boring. So you have to think about your game, you have to reinvent it. Like Burnout did with Burnout Paradise, they completely reinvented the game. So that's what I'm talking about when I say originality. Even if the title stays the same, you have to change what's in there, because otherwise, as a developer, you get bored completely, like yet another Flatout with the same graphic, blah blah blah, and the players don't want it. So really, it is about thinking outside the box. Where do we go from here? If we've been successful, where do we go now?
Sandbox gaming, as in Burnout Paradise, has really been the savior for a lot of genres up until now. Do you think Sandbox gaming is the next step for car games as well?
I think Sandbox gaming as an end to it all is just kitchen sink design. I don't buy that you have to be a sandbox game to matter. I just don't believe in that. But I believe that sandbox games are important. It has a growing importance, and a lot of games can do it well. But it's not like a lot of people say next gen means sandbox. No, it doesn't, dude. Call of Duty 4, the most linear game ever, sells 7 million units. It's not a sandbox game. And nobody's complaining about the linearity if you do it well. So the idea is really not about that one idea rules game development. There is no one truth. It depends on how you do it, what are you doing, why do you care, why would the player care? So if you are designing a game around to be a sandbox game, just because sandbox is trendy, you're failing it immediately. If you're designing a game to be a sandbox because it means something more to the player, because it delivers something for the gameplay, then you're doing it right.
Have you taken any ideas from any of the panels here this year that you've listened to? Any thoughts that you think were interesting?
I think personally I've been more into the production kind of panels, which talk about how you make the games, not what the game actually is. And that's really for us, it's actually validated a lot of things, how we operate, because there's a lot of talk about this agile development, and we've been doing it for now 2.5 years, and a lot of people are saying, yeah, and it's working also for us. So that's sort of validating what we already do. A lot of people are we have 7 people here going to programming sessions, to artist sessions, but that's more technical, like how you do things. I don't think you can go to GDC and say, okay, now I know the type of a game I'm gonna make, or this type of a game. I don't think this is a place for that. It's a place for how you make games.
Just on a broader spectrum, name one game that really surprised you this year or last year, and really one game that really just disappointed you.
Oh, those are controversial. Unfortunately, I don't get to play as much as I want. I have 2 kids and a wife and a family and a life and blah blah blah. Boring old 30-odd guy. Like, don't play enough. The game I played most last year was Ratchet & Clank: Tools of Destruction. I loved it for its cartoony, out there, pure game, like science fiction. I'm a big science fiction nut, so it was just, it was playing a Pixar movie, and I really loved it for that. Just whimsical, out there, funny as hell. Yeah, great stuff. Disappointments? I don't want to name any disappointments. That would be too controversial, but I think there are a lot of great games coming on. I think this year is going to be phenomenal with a lot of cool stuff coming, like Killzone 2, Gran Turismo. This is going to be a phenomenal year.
We're done. So thank you very much for your time, and
you.
get away to those sessions. So
yeah, we'll run, Forrest.